The overseers summoned the diplomats of every race in the Galactic High Council. The decision regarding the status of the third planet in the Sol system had been completed. It was one thing when these bacteria were content with killing themselves using their primitive, conventional weapons. But now, with their development of atomic missiles, the stakes have changed. The overseers will not allow these microbes to pose a threat to any of the member states of the Galactic Consortium. The carbon-based units that occupy the planet Earth must be neutralized. This task will be awarded to one member nation of the consortium. It will be that privileged and most favored race that will be trusted with conquest of the planet Earth. An empire of space Amazons, the Venusians are divided into many sects, each with a powerful queen as ruler. They are ruthless in their conquests, using manipulation and seduction as effectively as they use weapons and tactics. The Venusians have a long-standing hatred for the Orzaks above all others, as their countless robot armies are immune to this seductive warfare. The Venusians are pirates, renowned throughout the galaxy for playing with their foes for a while, before annihilation.
Good evening, and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight we'll be playing Conquest of the Planet Earth, the Space Alien game by Flying Frog Productions. I've randomly selected our alien race. We're going to be playing the Venusian Matriarchy. It has a strength of 3, intelligence of 3, and the following abilities. They're femme fatales. Venusian Matriarchy aliens gain +1 strength for each enemy hero in a fight. You have manipulation. Use 1 alien menace token to cancel any event on the d6 roll of 4 or greater. Limit once per event. This has no effect on human tech. And finally, seductive glance. Use 2 alien menace tokens to exchange your fight dice roll with your opponent's fight dice roll in a fight, except when fighting the Orzaks or Captain Fantastic. We've selected a landing zone where we've landed 4 alien saucers, but those pesky humans have deployed some resistance forces of their own. On the capital map, they've deployed some jet fighters with a strength of 7, some tanks with a strength of 5, and on our landing board they've deployed some tanks with a strength of 5. And we begin the game with a number of event cards equal to our intelligence value, which is 3. So we'll start the game with a hand of 3 cards. Our first card is Gear Up. For 1 activation point, we can draw a Space Stuff card. And the flavor text reads, "It's important to use the right tool for the job, but in a pinch, a big gun will always do." Okay, the next card is Whirling Strike, Event Combat. Play during a fight to have either side roll an extra fight dice and use the highest roll. And finally, What is that thing? For a cost of 1 activation point, choose any player, including yourself, to immediately gain D3 Alien Menace tokens. Alright, that's great. In this playthrough, the aliens will be using the red die, and the resistance forces will be using the blue. The object of the game is for the aliens to acquire 8 terror points, and that must happen before the human tech track reaches 10. If they get to 10, they develop super weapons, and we won't be able to combat those, and we would lose the game. We're ready to begin the game, and we'll start with an alien turn. And we begin with our command phase. We're going to roll a d6, and that'll be the number of action points that we'll have to use for the turn. Okay, here's our roll. We rolled a 2, so that'll provide us with 2 action points. I'm going to mark our action points with these metal coins that I have here, and that'll help me to keep track of the number of action points I have. And now we'll begin our action phase. I'm going to pay 1 activation point, and I'm going to play the card, What is that thing? Choose any player, including yourself, to immediately gain D3 Alien Menace tokens. Okay. We've already started the game with 1 Alien Menace token, and we'll make a roll with a D3 and see how many we can get. Okay, this is a D3 die that I have. Okay, here's the roll. We rolled a 1, so we'll gain 1 Menace token. And then for my next action, we'll pay a point there, and I'm going to play the card Gear Up. For 1 activation point, we can draw a Space Stuff card. Okay, and that card is revealed to be a Robot Butler. And that's going to earn us 1 activation point extra while that is on the board. So that's great. Okay, we'll place that card above our player card. These are discarded. And that ends our activation phase. And now it's the battle phase. We haven't explored any new territories in this turn, so nothing will happen there. And then we'll go to our draw phase, and we are able to discard up to 1 card and then draw back to our hand limit, which is our intelligence level. I'm going to keep that Whirling Strike card, and we are going to draw 2 additional cards to bring us back up to our hand total. The first card is Sonic Blast. Play during a fight to give your aliens +2 to their strength total. Gain 1 Alien Menace token. Okay, that's a good card. And the second one is Coordinated Attack. For 1 action point, until the end of the game round, your aliens in a fight, or all aliens in cooperative play, may roll an extra fight dice and choose which to use. Okay, great. Well, that is going to end the aliens' turn, and we'll move on to the resistance. And we'll begin the resistance phase by drawing a resistance event card. And that's revealed to be Clash of Wills. Until the start of the next resistance phase, roll a d6 for every ability used that requires an Alien Menace token. It is canceled on the roll of a 4 or greater. Okay. The next step is to check for location liberation. There won't be any of that. And then we have to move the human tech track. That's going to advance from 0 to 1. You'll notice that that's a colored space there, and that indicates that we have to deploy 1 resistance token to each board. And we'll randomly select that and determine its location. Okay, the capital board is going to have Captain Fantastic on the board. Okay. Okay, Captain Fantastic is a special counter, and when he comes out, he has to fight a single fight round against every space on that board section. Once all the fight rounds are complete, Captain Fantastic counter is discarded back into the pool. Okay, well, there are no enemies on that capital board yet, so Captain Fantastic will have nobody to fight. So he's going to end up going back into the pool. And now we have to play 1 against, deploy 1 to our board. And that is fighter planes. And those are going to go in location 5. Okay, so we'll place those in location 5. All right. Our next step is resistance movement. Any resistance counter with move ability moves to a random space. Okay, well, the fighter planes have a movability, and so do the jet fighters. We'll roll for the jet fighters first. Those will deploy to space 3. Okay. And the fighter planes, those will move to space 3. Okay, now when a counter moves into a location that already has a counter, it discharges that counter into the center of that board. So the fighter planes come in, they dislodge the counter that was there, and now the tanks will move into the landing zone. So we're going to have to fight a battle out of sequence against those tanks. Battles are very simple. The alien strength is equal to its strength on its card times the number of saucers in the location plus a d6, and the resistance is equal to its resistance value plus a d6. Now, whenever a roll of a 6 comes up, that is a crushing victory for that side. If there's a tie, it's a wash, and we start an additional fight round. All right, so we're going to make the roll. The red is the aliens, the blue is the resistance. Here's the roll. Okay, we both rolled 6s, so that's a crushing victory for both sides. That's a tie, and it will be offset, so we'll re-roll that. All right, the resistance rolled a 4, and we rolled a 2. Resistance total is 4 plus 5 is 9. We have a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. So we went 14 to 9. That defeats those tanks. Those go back into the resistance pool, and that will end that special combat. And the next step is resistance barrage. If any counters on the map had a barrage capability, they would be able to fire their cannons. There are none. And to complete that resistance phase, we have to roll for a tech breakthrough. At the bottom of the human tech chart, you'll notice triangles down here, and that tells us how many dice that the humans can roll in an attempt to acquire a human tech card. If they can roll a 6, they'll gain a human tech card. So we'll have, in this case, we're in that first stage where they only get 1 die. So here is their roll. They rolled a 4, so they failed at that point. And that is going to end the first turn. We'll move on to another alien turn. We'll begin with the alien's command phase. We're going to roll a d6, and that will tell us how many action points we'll have for the turn. We do have the robot butler, which will add +1 to our roll. Okay, here is our die roll. We rolled a 5, so we'll have a total of 6 action points for this turn. And we've got 6 action points there. And I'm going to spend 1 action point to play the card Coordinated Attack. Until the end of the game round, your aliens in a fight, or all aliens in cooperative play, may roll an extra fight dice and choose which to use. All right, so that'll be active for this turn. And now I'm going to spend 4 action points, and we're going to move our 4 saucers. We're going to move 2 into the spot with the fighter planes, and then I'm going to move 2 into this zone here. We have 1 action point left, and I won't be able to use that this turn, so we'll just have to discard that. We'll move on to the battle phase. Okay, the battle phase is where we resolve exploration and battles. The first step will be in Zone 1. We're going to draw a location card and see what we find in that location. That's a coastline. Okay. Now this is a card from the expansion, the Apocalypse expansion, that includes nautical locations. And you'll notice on the card in that location there's a port symbol. And that means that when we use resistance cards, we'll be using the special coastal resistance cards. So that's what we're going to do. Now this has a population value of 0, unfortunately, for the aliens. But we still have to fight against 1 resistance card, and this is going to be a coastal resistance card. And that card is revealed to be Marine Biologist. Okay, that's a hero. He's going to gain +1 strength to the total. We'll have to draw another one till we get a standard card, and we do. It's Naval Destroyers. Okay, the card tells us to place Navy Destroyers counter in the space. Here's the Destroyers counter. Now these have 2 sides to them, so when it says flip when defeated, you'd have to defeat this twice, and then when you do, it has a special bonus of victory, terror +1. Okay, so we're going to start out with a battle against those destroyers. The destroyers have a strength of 5. It's a hard target, and the Marine Biologist will add +1 strength to them, so they have a total of 6 for right now. And that's the same as our total. We have 2 saucers at a strength of 3, and that's a total of 6. So we're going to make our die roll, and we'll see the result of this battle. Okay, here is the roll. All right, 3 for the aliens and a 2 for the resistance. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've defeated them. That will turn the destroyer token over to its damaged side. And we'll have to fight another round. Okay, and this will be the next fight round. And that time, the resistance rolled a 6 and we rolled a 1. Now that's going to be a crushing victory for the resistance. And I'm going to attempt to employ our seductive glance ability. Use 2 alien menace tokens to exchange your fight dice roll with your opponent's fight dice roll. So we're going to pay 2 menace tokens to activate that special ability. However, the resistance has an event card out that says until the start of the next resistance phase, roll a d6 for every ability used that requires alien menace tokens. It is canceled on a roll of 4 or greater. All right, so we'll see if we're able to use that. This is their roll to try to stop us from using that ability. And they rolled a 5, so that did stop us from using that. We've squandered those alien menace points in the process. So if that's the case, the resistance has won a crushing victory and we're going to lose one of our saucers. And now we have the decision to make. Do we want to stay for an additional round or do we want to retreat? And I think we're going to stay. So we're going to play one more round, and I'm going to play the card Sonic Blast, which is going to give us a +2 to our strength, and we're going to gain an alien menace token in the process. Okay, so we'll make our roll now. So our total right now is the resistance has 5, 6, and we have a total of 3 plus the 2 from the Sonic Blast, which will give us a total of 5 as well. So 6 to 5. Okay, and here is going to be the roll. And each rolled a 2. So the resistance has 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have lost that battle. That will remove another saucer, and that coastline will remain unconquered. And those Navy destroyers will remain in a damaged state on the coastline. Okay, now we'll move on to our other battle where we've got fighter planes. We'll start out with a location card. That is revealed to be Rolling Hills. Has no population and no resistance. So we're going to have to fight against those fighter planes. And I'm going to play Whirling Strike. Play during a fight to have either side roll an extra fight dice and use the highest roll. All right, so our strength right now is a 6. 3 for each of our saucers, and the fighter planes are strength of 6. So we're even right now. We get to roll an extra fight dice because of that Whirling Strike card, and we can choose which of the red dice we're going to use. Okay, here is the roll. And we rolled a 6. So that's a crushing victory, and the fighter planes are destroyed. But unfortunately, the Rolling Hills don't yield us any population, so therefore we cannot place a conquest marker on that location. And that's going to end the battle phase. We'll move on to our draw phase. We're able to discard 1 card from our hand and then draw up to our intelligence level, 3 cards. We have no cards in our hand now, so we'll be drawing 3. First card is the Face of Fear event Victory. Play on any player when they conquer a location. That player immediately gains X plus 1 alien menace tokens, where X is equal to the population of that location. And it says, yes, I think this face suits you best. Next card is Battle Frenzy. It's a combat card. Play to force any aliens or resistance to re-roll their fight dice just rolled. And the third card. Diplomatic delegation. At a cost of 2 action points, take any event card from the discard pile into hand. It reads, so as you can clearly see, it only makes sense for you to let us conquer your planet. It's a win-win. Okay, that ends the alien phase. We'll move on to the resistance phase. We'll start out with a resistance event card. This card is discarded, and we will draw a new one. And that reads, anti-war protests back home. This card plays as noted above and affects all of the alien players. -1 strength remains in play. Well, that's a very severe card for us. That would reduce the strength of all of our saucers by 1. Our strength would go down to 2 rather than 3. And I'm going to play my manipulation ability, which allows me to spend 1 alien menace token, and allows me to roll a d6 on a 4 or greater. I can cancel that card. All right, we'll make a roll, and hopefully we can stop this from coming into play. And it's a cocked die. We'll re-roll that. We rolled a 4. Okay, so that's sufficient for us to have no effect on that card, and that is discarded. That is great. Okay, we'll move on to step 2. That's check for local liberation. There's no conquest markers, so that won't happen. Now we're going to move the human tech track. That'll move from 1 to 2. And now they will make their resistance moves, if any. There is 1 token, that's jet fighters, so they'll be able to roll to a random location. They're going to location 2. There are no barrage tokens, so now we're going to make a roll for our tech breakthrough, and we're still in stage 1, so that'll allow them 1 die. Roll of 6 gets them a human tech. They rolled a 4, so no love there. And that will complete the turn. We'll move on to our alien turn. We'll begin with our command phase. We're going to roll a die and see how many action points we get for the turn. We do have the robot butler. He's going to give us +1 to the roll. We rolled a 4, so that's a total of 5 action points for the turn. So we have 5 action points. We do have 2 destroyed saucers. I'm going to keep those on the card here so that we can see those. And that'll give us 5 action points then to use. And I'm going to spend 2 points to gain a alien menace token. And I think we'll spend 1 point to recover 1 of our saucers back to our landing area. And then I'm going to spend 2 points to move 2 saucers from the rolling hills into this zone number 2. Now we'll move to the battle phase, and we have an exploration we have to take care of. And that location is revealed to be a military testing ground. It has a population of 1 with a resistance of 2. And its special ability says any alien that ends their turn here is destroyed on the d6 roll of 1. Okay, so we're going to roll a d6 then for each of those saucers, and on a result of a 1, we'll lose 1 of them. Okay, here is the roll. Rolled a 3 and a 5, so we're safe there. And now we'll start drawing our resistance cards. There's a total of 2 there that we need to get. And here's the first one. First one is local police. Strength of 2. Okay, so our total strength right now is 3, 6. And he has a strength of 2. Okay, we'll make our roll. And he rolls a 4, and we roll a 3. So we have a total of 9. He has a total of 6, and we beat him 9-6. And incidentally, our coordinated attack card is no longer valid. That expired at the end of the turn. So now we're going to move on to our second resistance card. This local police has been defeated. Our next card is a a small town sheriff. He adds an additional 1 strength at any town location. Okay, well, the military testing facility is not a town location, so he's going to give him 2 strength points to the resistance. We have to continue drawing cards. It's riot police. And they have a strength of 2, and it says gains +3 strength if at any town or city location. And they have an assault ability, which means they'll win on ties. So our strength right now is 6. He has a total of 2, and 2 is 4. All right, we'll make our roll. And we rolled a 6. That's a crushing victory. So we automatically win the battle. That defeats the riot police and the small town sheriff. And we are going to take control of this military testing facility. So we can place a conquest marker there. And that earns us our first terror point. And since we've conquered that location, I'm going to play a card called the Face of Fear. Play on any player when they conquer a location. That player immediately gains X + 1 alien menace tokens, where X is equal to the population of that location. Okay, population is 1, + 1 will earn 2 alien menace tokens. That gives us a total now of 3. Okay, that's great. And now we'll move to the draw phase. We have 2 cards. I'm able to discard one of those if I choose. I think I'll discard the diplomatic delegation card, and then we'll draw 2 new event cards to bring us up to our intelligence value of 3. First card is Apocalypse at a cost of 2 action points. Choose a board section and roll a d6 for every resistance counter there. On a roll of 4+, that counter is destroyed. Gain 2 alien menace tokens for each counter destroyed in this way. Well, that's great. Okay, so that's the first card. Second card is Paving the Way. Play during your action phase to demolish a location where you have an alien present. Gain action points or alien menace tokens equal to that location's resistance value. All right, and that is going to complete the alien turn. We'll move on to the resistance. We'll start the resistance phase by drawing a resistance event card, and that is revealed to be Arms Race. It reads, while in play, roll an extra die for tech breakthroughs each turn during the resistance phase. All right, so that is going to remain in play. We'll put that above the resistance card here so we have a reminder of that. All right. Then we'll move on for location liberation. That will not occur. We have a conquest marker, but there's no resistance tokens in that location. Now we're going to move the human tech track. That'll move from 2 to 3, and that's a colored space, meaning we're going to have to deploy 1 resistance token to each board. Okay, we'll start with the capital board. And that one is revealed to be tanks, and those are going to go in location 6. Okay, so that'll go in location 6. And we'll draw one for our board, and that's heavy tanks, and those will go in location 4. Okay, that's down here. All right. Now we go to resistance movement. There is 1 token that can move. That's the jet fighters, and they will move to location 1. It's back here. And barrage, there are no barrage units on the board. Finally, we go to rolling for a tech breakthrough. So they're going to get to roll. We're still in the first stage, but their card allows them to roll an extra die for tech breakthroughs. So that means they can roll 2 dice. And they're searching, hoping for a roll of 6 to be able to gain a human tech card. Okay, here is the roll. And they did. They rolled a 6. So that allows them to draw a tech card. That is revealed to be guided missiles. All air resistance, including resistance counters, now have the barrage ability. This does not apply to Captain Fantastic. That's a very powerful card for them. Okay, so they are going to keep that card, And I don't believe I am able to attempt to cancel that because my strengths, my skill abilities that I have say it has no effect on human tech. That would be the manipulation ability. And no, we cannot do that. So that is an active card. Okay. All right, we'll move on with the alien turn. We'll begin with a command phase, and we're going to roll a d6 for our command points, and we get to add 1 for our robot butler. We rolled a 1. Now that's a natural 1, so that allows us to gain a alien menace token and allows us to re-roll that die. So that's what we're going to do. We have to accept this result though. Rolled a 6, so that's a total of 7 action points. Okay. So we have 7 action points we can use during this turn. All right, we'll begin with spending an action point to have a reinforcement come in. And now we're going to spend 2 points and gain another menace token. It leaves us with 4 action points. And we'll spend all 4 of those to move our saucers. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to move 2 saucers in to the coastline. We'll see if we can get rid of those destroyers and gain a terror point. And then these 2 are going to move in and try to battle these heavy tanks. We'll start out with the heavy tanks. That will require us to draw a location card. And that's revealed to be a town. Okay, has a population of 2 and a resistance of 2. All right, our first step there is we have to fight the heavy tanks to begin. All right, the aliens have a value of 6. The resistance has a value of 8, and we'll make our die roll. Okay, he rolled a 3, and we rolled a 1, so that gives us a total of 7. He has a total of 11. And I'm going to pay 2 alien menace tokens and utilize our seductive glance ability. And that allows us to exchange our fight dice for the enemies. So by doing that, we have a total of 6 and 3. 6 and 3 is 9. He has a total of 8 plus 1 is 9, and that's a push. So that will preserve one of our alien spacecraft from being destroyed. Now we can decide if we want to fight another fight round or we can retreat. I think I'll fight another fight round. We'll see if we can get rid of this heavy tanks. Okay, here is the roll. Okay, we rolled a 4 and he rolled a 1. He has a total of 9. We have a total of 6 and 4 is 10. We've defeated the heavy tanks. Okay, that's great. Now we have to fight the resistance that is listed on the space. So we have to draw a total of 2 resistance cards. And the first card is revealed to be U.S. Army Infantry, has a strength of 3. Okay, so we have a strength currently of 6. He has a strength of 3. We'll make our die roll. Okay, he rolled a 5, and a 3 is an 8. We have a 6 plus 1 is 7, so we're going to lose the battle. But once again, I'm going to spend 2 alien menace tokens and utilize our seductive glance. That'll allow us to swap those dice, and we're going to have a total of 11 to his 4, and we'll defeat the U.S. Army Infantry. And now it'll be our last resistance that we have to draw, and that card is revealed to be an angry mob. Has a strength of 1. Okay, so right now we're winning 6-1, but you never can tell what'll happen. Okay, here is the roll. Well, we both rolled 6s, so that would be instant wins for both of us. Those offset, so we will roll again. And the angry mob has a total of 6. We have a total of 6, 7, 8. We've defeated the mob, and we've taken control of that location. We can place a conquest marker there, and that earns us 2 terror points. So that's great. So at present, we have a total of 3 terror points out of the 8 that we need to win the game. We'll move on to our next battle, and that's going to be our saucers against the destroyer. So right now we're winning 6-5, and we'll make our die roll. Okay, a 3 and a 4. The destroyers have a total of 9. We have a total of 9 as well, so that's going to be a push. All right, I don't have enough menace tokens to be able to use that seductive glance, so we're just going to stick it out. We'll go on to the next fight round. Okay, here is the roll. We both rolled a 1. Okay, so we have a total of 7. They have a total of 6. We've defeated the destroyers. We keep this as a trophy, and that earns us a terror point. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terror points. We need 4 more to win the game. And we need to place a conquest marker on that coastline. Even though that has a population of 0, it shows that we have defeated that resistance. That ends the battle phase. We'll move on to the draw phase, and we'll see if we want to discard any cards and draw up. I think we'll discard the Paving the Way card, and we'll draw a new card. And that one is revealed to be, I don't think so. Play to cancel any event card or to cancel any human tech card on a d6 roll of 4 or greater, or play to cancel the effects of any space stuff until the end of the game round. All right, that's great. I think we're going to use this right now. I'm going to play that to see if I can get rid of those guided missiles, that human tech card that is out there. So we're going to make a roll on a 4 or better. We'll get rid of that tech. That would be outstanding. Here's the roll. And unfortunately, we rolled a 2. All right, so that card is gone, and the humans maintain their guided missiles. That'll end the alien phase. We'll move on to the resistance phase. Okay, we'll start the resistance phase by drawing a resistance event card. It says bickering. Until the start of the next resistance phase, all alien players are -2 action points during their action phase. All right, now we're going to check for location liberation. That is not happening. We move the human tech track. We move from 3 to 4. So they're 40% the way to completing their special weapon that would win the game for them. Okay, then it's resistance move, and there is 1 token on the board that can move, and that's the jet fighters. We'll roll to see for that new location. Rolls a 5, and that is going to place those jet fighters down here. Okay. Then the barrage phase, there are no tokens that have the barrage ability, with the exception that these guided missiles now, all air tokens, including resistance counters, now have the barrage ability. So he would be able to barrage within 1 space, either in his space or 1 space away from those jet fighters, but we don't have any saucers within range of him, at least. So they're going to roll for their tech breakthrough next. Now, they do have that arms race happening, so that'll allow them an extra die on top of what is normally allotted. Right now they're in the 2nd stage, so they're going to be rolling 3 dice to determine whether or not they get a human tech. Okay, here is the roll. And they did roll a 6, so they're going to gain another human tech card. That's not good for us. That card is revealed to be force field defenses. Locations that are any of the following may not be demolished. All right, and it says raise the shields. Okay, so we'll add that to their list of cards, and we're not going to be able to use any demolished tokens on those types of locations. And that will complete the resistance phase. We'll move on to an alien phase. All right, we'll begin with the aliens command phase. We'll be rolling a d6 to determine our action points. Now, we do have the robot butler available. He'll be adding 1 to the die roll. But there is a event card that's active from the resistance, and it says until the start of the next resistance phase, all alien players are -2 action points. Okay, so we'll give a roll and see how many action points we have for the turn. Okay, we rolled a 3, so we're going to add 1 to that for our robot butler. That's 4, but we're going to lose 2 from the bickering, so that'll be a total net of 2 action points for the turn. And I'm going to spend 2 action points to move 2 saucers, and I think we'll move these 2 here to that spot, zone 5, and then we'll see what we find there. Now it's the battle phase, and we will begin with our exploration. We'll find out what's in location 5. We'll draw a location card, and that is determined to be a mountain range. Has no population and no resistance, so that's a bad card for us. All right, and then we'll move on to the draw phase, and we're going to keep the 2 cards we have, Battle Frenzy and Apocalypse. We'll draw 1 more card to bring us up to our hand limit, and that one is Ultimate Influence for 2 action points. During your action phase, you may pay 2 action points to place an infantry resistance counter, or 3 action points for tanks counter, in any empty space on the board. You may also pay 2 action points each to move any resistance counter to an adjacent space. Remains in play. Okay. And that'll complete the alien's turn. We'll move on to the resistance. And we'll begin the resistance phase by drawing a resistance event. The bickering card is now discarded, and we'll draw a new one. That one is Atomic Bomb. The location on the board with the most aliens, at least 2, is targeted by an atomic bomb, as described above. If more than 1 are tied, all are targeted. Whoa! Well, that is not a good card for us. We have 2 zones with 2 saucers on it, so both of those would be eligible targets for the atomic attack. Well, I'm most definitely going to use my manipulation ability, and we're going to spend 1 Alien Menace token to try to cancel any event on a die roll, D6 roll of 4 or greater. So let's see if we can cancel this Atomic Bomb card. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 6, so thankfully we have been able to cancel that Atomic Bomb card. That's great. Okay, we'll move on to check for Liberation. There are Conquest tokens on the board, but there are no resistance markers in those locations. Now we're going to move the human tech track. We'll move from 4 to 5, and that is a colored space, so we're going to be adding a resistance token to each board. We'll start with the capital board, and we're going to be adding a SEAL team. And that's going to go in location 4. Okay, so location 4, that's going to be here, and that will bump these tanks to the center of the board, the capital. All right, now we'll do the same thing for our board. And that is a fighter plane formation, and that's going to go into location 4, and that's the town. All right. Now, luckily, we checked for Liberation earlier in the phase. If that would have happened before that phase, we would have lost control of that town. Okay, then we'll move on to the next step. It says resistance movement. So we're going to move any tokens on the board that have a move capability. There are some jet fighters and these fighter planes. We'll start with the jet fighters. Rolled a 5, and that will be right back where they were, so they're going to maintain their location. Now these fighter planes. Rolled a 3. Okay, so he's going to move to the rolling hills. All right. And then it would be our barrage units, if there were any. There are none. And then we're going to roll for a tech breakthrough. And the resistance has this card called Arms Race. Anytime a player draws a space... I'm sorry, that's wrong. While in play, roll an extra die for tech breakthroughs each turn during the resistance phase. Well, we're in the second phase of that, so that's going to allow them to roll 3 dice in the search of one of their human tech cards. Any roll of a 6 is going to get them a card. If they roll more than 1-6, it's still only one card. Okay, here's the roll. They did. They rolled a 6. The next human tech card is Reverse Engineering. Draw a space stuff card and place it here. Ignore this card's normal game text. Instead, if the space stuff is a weapon or ally, all military resistance and all resistance counters are now strength +1. Otherwise, all resistance heroes now add +1 strength. Okay, so we're going to draw a space stuff card based upon the type that will tell us what is happening. Okay, it is Robot Butler. Okay, let's see what that's going to do to that card. Okay, it says if it's a weapon or ally, all military resistance and all resistance counters are now +1 strength. That is, it's not an ally, and it's not a weapon. So it says here, otherwise, all resistance heroes are now add an extra +1 strength. So that's actually better than it could have been. So we'll keep that out, and they're going to be +1 strength to all resistance heroes. And that's going to complete the resistance phase. We'll move on to the alien phase. Okay, currently we have a total of 4 terror points. We need 8, so we need to pick up another 4. As soon as we get those, the game instantly ends in a victory for the aliens. All right, first step is to roll in the command phase to find out how many action points we're going to have for the turn. Now we have the Robot Butler that'll add +1 to our roll. Rolled a 5, so that's a total of 6 tokens, which is good. Gives us 6 action points to use. All right, now it's the alien action phase, and we definitely have some threats here. The resistance has this human tech card called Guided Missiles, and that turns all air resistance tokens. It allows them to have the barrage capability. So that means the fighter planes and the jet fighters would be able to bombard us prior to any battle in that space or an adjacent space to those. Also during the resistance barrage phase of the resistance phase. So I need to take those out. Those are really a potential problem for us. Now I do have a card that is called Apocalypse, and for 2 command points, 2 action points rather, I could choose a board section, and then I would be able to attack every token, every resistance token on that board and destroy it on a roll of 4 or greater. We would gain 2 Alien Menace tokens for each counter destroyed in that method. So I think I'll do that. I'm going to spend 2 tokens, and I'm going to gain a Alien Menace token to start out with. We'll spend 2 more to activate this Apocalypse card. And then that'll allow us to do then is to attack each token on a map section. I'm going to choose the capital board. We'll bring in this giant floating cube that's going to start hopefully blasting those units. And we'll start with those tanks. We'll roll a d6, and on a 4 or greater, it is destroyed. Here's the roll. Rolled a 1, that's a failure. We'll move on to the capital site and attack tanks there. We rolled a 4. Okay, that's good. So those tanks are destroyed. We'll move on to the jet fighters. This is the one I'd like to knock out. Okay, here's the roll. Rolled a 6. That's great. Destroyed that one. And finally, this location here, this Navy SEALs. And we've destroyed them. That's great. Okay, so we've kind of cleared that board out. And we're going to be able to gain now, as we have destroyed 3 tokens in that manner, we'll be able to gain a total of 6 6 Alien Menace tokens. So that's great. So we're going to add 6 Alien Menace tokens to our total. It gives us a total of 7. It was a good card. And now I'm going to spend my last 2 action points, and we're going to move these 2 saucers to this location here, and then we'll move into the battle phase. We'll start out with an exploration, drawing a location card, and that is a national park. Has a population of 2, 1 resistance. While there is a conquest marker here, the location may be used as a landing site. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so we're at a national park, and now we're going to resolve the resistance that's there. It's 1 resistance card, and that is revealed to be a well-armed redneck. It's a civilian hero. He's going to add 4 strength to the total for them. Okay, we'll have to continue drawing resistance cards. And that one is a hotshot pilot. Adds an additional 1 strength when helping an air resistance, and he adds +2 strength. Now we have 2 heroes in the same spot. That is going to initiate the human ingenuity, and that allows the resistance to draw a free event card. And that one is revealed to be Anti-War Protest Back Home. This card plays as noted above and affects all of the alien players. It's a -1 to the strength, and it remains in play. Well, we're going to have to try to cancel that card. I'm going to use my manipulation ability, and that'll cost me 1 alien menace token, and we can roll a die, and a 4 or greater, we can cancel that event. So let's see if we can do that. I hope we can. Okay, here is the roll. And we did not. We rolled a 3. So that card is going to be active. I'm going to place that on my player card. And note that I'm -1 strength now. That takes us down from 3 to 2. Okay, now we have to continue drawing our resistance. And we have another hero. +2 strength. He adds 3 when helping a mob resistance. Okay. Another card. U.S. Army Artillery. Okay, it has that barrage ability. At the start of each fight round, roll a d6 for each alien in the same and adjacent spaces. Oh boy. That alien is destroyed on a 1 or 2. Whoa. All right, well, we'll start the battle resolution. They'll begin with their barrage attack from the U.S. Army Artillery. We'll start out by them firing on the adjoining saucers. So they're going to be able to roll 2 dice. On a 1 or 2, they'll destroy a saucer. Here's the roll. Okay, they rolled a 3 and a 5, so no help there. Now they're going to use their barrage attack on in the space in question. So they'll get to roll another 2. And they failed. We got lucky with that. Okay, now we're going to resolve the battle. Now, because of the anti-war protest card, we're -1 strength, so we only have a total of 4 right now. They have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4 is 12. So this is not looking good, folks. Okay, we'll make the roll and see what happens. Okay, here's the roll. Okay, they rolled a 3, and we rolled a 2. All right, so they're definitely going to win that round. I could use the seductive glance, but all that's going to do is reverse the dice, and it still won't be enough to win the battle. So we're going to lose 1 saucer, and I believe we are going to retreat. So our saucer will retreat to the coastline, and that is going to end our battle phase. And now we'll move on to our draw phase. Okay, we've got a couple cards here. I'm going to discard this Ultimate Influence card, and we're going to draw up to our total intelligence hand limit of 3. So we'll be able to draw 2 event cards. First one is Search and Destroy. Play at any time to look at the top 3 cards of a resistance deck and then place them back on top in any order. Okay, that's a good card. And then it's Terror in the Night. Choose a player to immediately gain alien menace tokens equal to their current terror total. Okay, that's pretty good. So we'll keep those cards, and that is going to end the alien turn. We'll move on to the resistance. And we'll begin the resistance phase by drawing a resistance event card, and that one is Clash of Wills. Until the start of the next resistance phase, roll a d6 for every ability used that requires alien menace tokens. It is canceled on a roll of 4 or greater. Okay. Okay, the next step is to check for location liberation. Fortunately, there are no resistance tokens on any of our Conquest locations, so that's good. Next is to move the human tech track. That'll move from 5 to 6. All right, and now it is resistance moves. There is one token, that's the fighter planes. They're going to be able to move. Let's see where they go. They're moving to location 1, so we're going to have a battle there. They're going to be battling against 3 saucers. And we'll begin that battle. Now these fighter planes are equipped with guided missiles, so that allows them a barrage attack. They're going to be able to roll before we resolve the battle. 3 dice on any results of 1 or 2. They're going to destroy a saucer. Okay, here is the roll. And they did roll 1, 2. So they're going to destroy one of our saucers. And now we're going to fight the battle. Now our strength is reduced by 1, so we're only at 2 now for each saucer. We have a total of 4. He has 6. Okay, and we'll make our combat roll. All right, they have won 10 to 7. I'm going to see if there's any cards that I can play. And I do have a Battle Frenzy card that would allow me to force a reroll of either my roll or their roll. I guess I'll play that, and I'm going to have the resistance re-roll their die. Okay, here is the roll. They rolled a 1. Okay, they have a total of 7. We have a total of 4, and 3 is 7, so that's a push. That's good. So that card has been played. And now we have the option of withdrawing and or to fight it out. And I think we'll oh boy, this is a tough one. I think I'll withdraw, and we'll withdraw ourselves to the landing zone. And that fighter plane is over the coastline right now. And now we'll move on to the barrage phase, and there will be a barrage. These fighter planes, once again, are equipped with guided missiles, and they have a range of 1, so they're going to be able to fire on the 2 alien spacecraft. So they're going to roll 2 dice. On a 1 or 2, they'll destroy a saucer. That's a 3 and a 5. Okay, so no damage there at least. That's good. Now they're going to roll for their tech breakthrough, and they're in zone 2, so that'll be 2 plus the 1 they're going to get from the arms race. They'll be able to roll 3 dice. Any result of a 6 will get them a human tech card. And unfortunately, they did roll a 6. And we'll draw that tech card, and that is Atomic Shells. All tank resistance, including resistance counters, are now +1 strength, and all barrage attacks now hit on a roll of 1, 2, or 3. Whoa, that is very bad, because when that's combined with that guided missiles card, that makes all aircraft barrage units, and that's going to make them extremely powerful. We're going to have to destroy those fighter planes quickly. And that's going to end the turn, and we'll move on to the alien turn. Okay, we'll begin with our command phase, and we'll find out how many command action points we're going to have for the turn. We have a +1 from our robot butler. Okay, here's the roll. Rolled a 4, it's a total of 5, so we'll have 5 action points. Okay, we have 5 action points. And now we are going to commence our action phase. First step will be to pay 2 action points to recover 2 saucers. Okay. And then I think what I'll do is I have to get rid of those fighter planes. I absolutely do. I think what we'll do is we're going to play the Terror in the Night card, and that's going to gain us alien menace tokens equal to our total terror value that we have now. totally right now we have a total of 2, 3 plus the 1 from the destroyers. That's 4. So we're going to gain 4 tokens. Okay, and that card is played. And then I might as well play our Search and Destroy card, and that will allow us to look at the top 3 cards of the Resistance deck and put them back in any order that we wish. Okay, we'll get the top 3 cards of the Resistance deck. Okay, so we've got a National Guard, a local police, and teenagers at Lookout Point. Well, I think we're probably best off. We'll put the local police first, then the teenagers, and then the National Guard. We'll put them back in that order. Okay. All right, now we have 3 action points left. I'm going to spend those, and we're going to move 3 saucers into that location with the fighter planes and see if we can destroy those. They're going to get their barrage attack to start out with, so that will allow them 3 dice on the barrage attack. Now their barrage attack has been increased in capability with atomic shells. They are going to hit now. Oh, that's only for tanks. Okay, I'm sorry. That's only for tank resistance. So that will not apply. So they're still going to just be hitting on a 1 or 2. Okay, here's their roll. They rolled a 1, so that'll destroy 1 spacecraft. And now we're going to fight our battle. We have a total of 4 now with our anti-war protests. He has a 6, so this is really difficult. Let's get lucky here. Here's the roll. And it's a 1 and a 1, so they are going to win at this point. That will destroy another saucer. And I'm going to have to retreat, I guess. Yeah, we'll retreat. And that will end that combat. That'll complete the battle phase. We'll go to the draw phase. We have no cards in hand, so we'll be gaining 3 event cards. First one is Misdirection. Play to discard any 1 resistance card just drawn and redraw. Okay. And then we have Harvest Slaves. Play when your aliens win a fight against a soft resistance. We'll gain a terror point. And that remains in play. Okay, that's a good card. And then the third card is Spoils of Conquest. Play when your armies win a fight to immediately gain 2 alien menace tokens. Limit 1 victory card per fight. Okay, so that'll be our hand, and then we'll move on to the resistance phase. Okay, we'll discard the resistance event cards and draw a new one. That one is Unexpected Chemical Reaction. The human tech track immediately moves 1 step forward, and until the start of the next resistance phase, all aliens are -1 strength. Whoa, that is really bad. Okay, so the resistance human tech track is going to move 1. That'll be up to 7 now. So that will instigate that we're going to have to put down resistance tokens, 1 on each board. Okay. First one is a fighter plane. That's going to be going to location 1. Okay, that'll be up here. And then on our board, that is a heavy tank. And that is going to location 6. That's the national park. Okay. Now we check for liberation. And in this case, there is a liberation. It's the coastline. Now, that didn't have any population value on it, but if we wanted to claim that location again, we'd have to refight a resistance and any tokens that are there. So, all right, and then we'll move on to moving the human tech track. That's going to move from 7 to 8, getting close here. And now we'll go to the resistance movement. There's fighter planes there and here. So we'll start with those, and they're going to move to location 5. Down here. Then the fighter planes on the coastline move to location 4, and that's going to be the town. Okay. Then we'll do our barrage attack, and there will be one. The fighter planes will fire on the saucers that are adjacent. On 1 or 2 they are successful. No hits there. I misread that card, the Atomic Shells card. That actually says all tank resistance, including resistance counters, are now +1 strength, and all barrage attacks hit on a 1, 2, or 3. So that would be a success. That's going to destroy another saucer. And now we're going to roll for their tech breakthroughs. Now they're into the next stage, so they have 3, plus the 1 for the arms race will give you 4 dice. Any 6s will get them a card. And they did get a 6, and their next tech card is Advanced Communications. All resistance and resistance counters gain +X to their strength total, where X is the resistance value of the current location. Oh boy, this is really getting tough. Okay, we'll begin our alien phase with a command roll and see how many action points we get. Will be +1 for our robot butler. We rolled a 4, so that's a total of 5 action points. All right, we'll start out by, I think the first step will be to spend 3 action points, and that will allow us to recover 3 saucers as reinforcements. And then we have a total of 2 points remaining. And I guess I'm going to have to try to take out those fighter planes. So we'll spend 2 to move 2 saucers into that location and try to battle those fighter planes before they can eliminate our Conquest token there. All right, we'll go to the battle phase. And we have a strength now currently of 4 with our reduced strength. He has a total of 6. He's going to be able to use his barrage attack, though. All right, he'll use his barrage attack with the guided missiles. He'll start by the adjoining space. He'll roll 2 dice there. 1, 2, or 3 now. They're destroyed because of the reverse, because of the atomic shells. Okay, here is the roll. And we're going to lose 1 saucer to that barrage. And now the barrage will be in our space. And luckily we didn't lose any saucers there. Okay, now we'll go on to the combat. He has a 6. We have a total of 4. Let's see if we can win this somehow. And we did not. He has a total of 9. We have a total of 5. And I could attempt to spend that seductive glance, which would allow us to reverse the dice totals. That would give us a total of 7, and he would have 7. It would at least be a tie. I think I'll do that. We'll spend the 2 Alien Menace tokens, and we'll use our seductive glance. That'll reverse the die totals. And we'll see what happens. Wait, they have Unexpected Chemical Reaction is already played. Until the start of the next resistance phase, all aliens are -1 strength. No, that ain't going to work then, so I will not do that. I'll get our points back, and that's a loss. There's nothing I can do to stop that. We'll lose a saucer, and I guess I'll have to retreat. It's so late in the game, though. I think I'll stick it out. We'll fight another round. Unfortunately, that gives him another barrage attack. He gets one at the start of every fight round. So he'll fire on the adjoiners. That one is okay. And then in our space. And we're okay. It would only be on a 1, 2, or 3. So now we'll fight our battle. He has a total of 6. We're -1. -1, so we're at a 1. So we're going to need a crushing victory somehow. We didn't get it. So that's another loss. We're going to lose the saucer, and that's going to end the battle phase. Okay, we'll move on to the draw phase. I'm going to discard the Spoils of Conquest card, and that allows us to gain 1 event card. And that one is revealed to be the Face of Fear. Play on any player when they conquer a location. that player immediately gains X plus 1 alien menace tokens, where X is equal to the population of that location. Okay, that's going to end the alien phase. We'll move on to the resistance. All right, we'll discard the active resistance events and draw a new one. That one is Freedom Fighters. Roll a d6 for every alien on any player board section. It is destroyed on a 4 or greater. Oh boy, we just can't get a break here. Okay, well, we'll roll for that alien in the landing zone. And we're safe. It was a 2, so no help there. That card is done. We move on to check for liberation, and that is going to happen. These fighter planes have liberated the town. We lose the Conquest token, and we lose our terror points that we would gain from that. I think we're going to lose this game. All right, the next is the human tech track that moves from 8 to 9. That will deploy an additional resistance tokens on each map. We'll start out with the capital board. That is going to deploy Navy SEALs at location 4. Okay, that'll be here. And then one on our board. That is infantry at location 4. Okay, that's going to be in the town. So that would move to the town. That will displace the fighter planes into the center, causing a battle. Okay, they'll begin with their barrage attack with their atomic shells and guided missiles on that saucer. Roll of a 1, 2, or 3, and it's destroyed. And it is. So we've lost all of our alien saucers. Okay, we'll move on to resistance movement. There are fighter planes in that location, so we'll move those. Those will go to location 1. And there's a set of fighter planes in the middle. Those are going to move to location 5, which is going to displace the heavy tanks into the landing zone. And now they'll roll for their tech breakthrough. There won't be any barrage. There's no alien saucers out. And they're going to be able to roll 4 dice now for this because of the arms race card. Okay. He got a 6, so they're going to gain another human tech. Weather control device. Anytime aliens roll a 1 or 2 on their fight dice, one of their alien saucers at that location is instantly destroyed. Well, I think we're pretty much, we're going to lose this game. Okay, that will complete the resistance phase. We'll move on to the aliens. All right, we're in the command phase. We'll roll for our action points. We have a +1 from our robot butler. Rolled a 6. That gives us a total of 7. 7 action points. Okay. Got 7 action points. And we definitely need to spend 4 action points to get our reinforcements back. And we'll put those on the landing zone, and that's going to immediately instigate an attack on those heavy tanks. Okay, those atomic shells now are going to gain +1 strength to all tank units, so that heavy tanks are going to be a 9 now. But before that, the fighter planes get their strike capability against us with their guided missiles, atomic guided missiles. So they're going to be able to roll 4 dice. On a 1, 2, or 3, they're going to destroy a saucer. And they did roll a 1, 1, so we've lost a saucer to start out with. Now we'll move on to our battle. Okay, our strength now is with our reduced capabilities, 2, 4, 6. He has 8 + 1 is 9 to start out with. Okay, 6 to 9. Here's the roll. And we rolled a 3, so that gives us a total of 9. He has a 9 and 2 is 11, so we're going to lose that battle. If we were to reverse those dice, that would give us a total of 6, 7, 8, 9, and he would have a total of 8, 9, 10, 11. Either way, we're going to lose. Okay, so we're going to lose that battle. And now we have the option of staying or retreating. I might as well stay. There's not much of It won't matter much anyway. So the fighter planes are going to get their barrage attack. They'll be able to roll 2 dice, 1 or 2 or 3, and they'll destroy a saucer. And they have 1 success. We've lost another saucer. Now it's going to be a battle with the tanks, 9 to 2. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 6, so that's a total of 8, but he has a total of 9 and 1 is 10. So we've lost. And that will end that battle. And that ends the battle phase. We'll move on to the draw phase. Actually, I still had 3 action points remaining. And I guess I will spend those. And we would recover 3 saucers, and we'd have to fight another battle against those tanks. Pretty sure it works that way. All right, so we'll do that. He's going to get his barrage attack again, so he'll be rolling 3 dice from the fighter planes. He has 1 success that'll destroy a saucer, and now we'll fight our battle. Tanks are at 9. We're at a total of 4. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 6. He rolled a 5. So that gives us a crushing victory. We've destroyed the tanks, and that ends the battle. We didn't gain any terror points, though, unfortunately. It does allow us to play some cards, though. And the first card is the Face of Fear. Play on any player when they conquer a location. Well, that won't be the one we can use. We can't use that. We can use Harvest Slaves, I believe. Play when your armies win a fight against a soft resistance. Nope, that was a hard target, the tanks. We can't play either of those. All right, well, I guess what we'll do then is I'll discard the Misdirection card and draw another event card, getting us up to our intelligence level 3. That is Alien Arms Dealer. Play immediately. During their turn, any player may pay 3 action points to draw a Space Stuff card. Okay, that remains in play. And that is going to end the alien phase. We'll move on to the Resistance. And this is going to be the last turn, no doubt about it. They will start with a Resistance card, event card rather, Breakthrough. Draw a Human Tech card and put it into play. Okay, that card is Reverse Engineering. Draw a Space Stuff card and place it here. Ignore the card's normal game text. Instead, if it is a weapon or ally, all military resistance and all resistance counters are now +1 strength. All right, we'll do that. The Space Stuff card is an ally, so that is going to give all resistance +1. Okay. And the next is Location Liberation. They don't have any tokens on the only Conquest we have left, so that's good. The Human Tech track is going to move. It moves to 10, and the Resistance has an auto win against the aliens. They've defeated the Venetian Matriarchy. Well, that completes the game. We didn't do so well. It got to a point where it was just overwhelming with the inclusion of those guided missiles that allowed the aircraft to have a barrage capability. That's extremely powerful for the Resistance, and those need to be stamped out as quickly as possible in order for the aliens to have any chance at victory. Well, thank you for joining me for this playthrough of Conquest of the Planet Earth, the space alien game, and I hope to see you again at the Solo Gamers Club. Have a good evening, and take care.